Have you ever thought about what happens when you need justice, but it's just buried under a mountain of paperwork? Well, for millions, that's not a hypothetical. It's their reality. And it's the huge question at the heart of the film we're breaking down today, PESHI.
All right, let's just jump right in. To really get what this film is about, you've got to wrap your head around this number, 5.2 crore. According to the National Judicial Data Grid, that's how many cases are pending in Indian courts right now. I mean, that's 52 million cases. This isn't just some backlog, It's a full-blown crisis. And remember, every single one of those numbers, that's a person, a family, a life just stuck on pause.
And this quote from Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, wow, it just hits so hard. It really puts that insane number into perspective. He's saying, look, this isn't just about logistics or paperwork. It's a moral crisis. The delay itself, that's the injustice. It's a wound that just gets worse and worse over time. So that's exactly what brings us here. We're going to go from that massive, almost unimaginable scale of millions down to the story of just one person. We're diving into the film PESHI because it does something so important. It puts a human face on this massive, broken system.
Okay, so first things first, let's really unpack this crisis. I mean, how did we even get here? How does a pile of cases become a mountain? What's really going on behind this silent breakdown of justice?
Well, when you look into it, it's really a combination of things. A perfect storm, you could say. You've got a major shortage of judges, the procedures themselves are just incredibly complicated, and then there's this culture of constantly pushing hearings back, just kicking the can down the road. Throw in poor infrastructure and a nonstop flood of new cases every single day, and yeah, you've got a recipe for disaster. And check this out. This chart just lays it all bare. The judge shortage it's stark. Right now, India has about 21 judges for every million people. But get this, the country's own law commission says they need at least 50. 50! So we're running at less than half the capacity we're supposed to have. It's literally like trying to drain an ocean with a teaspoon. The senior advocate Fali S. Nariman just said it perfectly. He said the system doesn't move at the speed of law, it moves at the speed of files. And that's it, isn't it? It's not about quick, decisive justice. It's about the slow, painful, grinding movement of paper from one dusty shelf to the next. So we've talked about the big picture, the system. But what does all that mean for a real person? How does the speed of files actually wreck a human life? Well, that's exactly where the film PESHI takes us. And the title itself, PESHI, what does it mean? Well, it's just a word for a scheduled court hearing. Sounds simple, right? But for millions of people trapped in this system, that simple word has come to mean something else entirely. Endless, soul-crushing waiting. And this is who we follow. This is Rani. She's the heart of the film. And look, she's not fighting for some huge corporate takeover or a massive inheritance. She's a widow from a slum. And all she's fighting for is 30 yards of land that belong to her husband. Just 30 yards. But that small piece of ground, that's her home, that's her entire future. And here's where it all connects. This is so important. All those big systemic problems we talked about, let's see what they actually mean for Rani. Inadequate infrastructure isn't just a budget issue. For her, it means she could lose her home. Procedural complexities isn't just legal jargon. It's her child's future slipping away. And justice delayed? Well, for Rani, it's hope itself, just dying a little more with every new court date. All right, so let's follow Rani on her journey. Let's see what it's actually like to try and find your way through this legal labyrinth. This timeline, man, it's just brutal to look at. Just follow the dates. A hearing in December, okay? Then a month later, January, a call for a counter-argument. Then February, another delay. And then, look at this. April 1st, All Fool's Day, is when she's supposed to submit documents. You can't make this stuff up. Every one of these dates isn't just a line on a calendar. It's a day of lost work, a day of crippling anxiety, another day where her life is just completely on hold. So why all the gaps? Why does it take so long? Well, because the process itself is basically designed for delay. First, the other side can just not accept the legal notice for months. Then they have to file their own argument. Then you submit evidence. Then the lawyers argue. And only after all of that does the real waiting, the waiting for a judgment, even begin. Every single step is a chance for things to grind to a halt. But in the middle of all this darkness, the film gives us a little bit of light, a glimmer of hope. And that comes from Rani's lawyer, a man named Satyam.
And this one line he says, it just tells you everything you need to know about him. He says, "I'm a lawyer, but my profession is justice." He's making it crystal clear. This isn't about money for him. It's not a business. But it's not just charity either. It's something more. It's a calling. You find out that his whole outlook comes from his grandfather, who told him, fight for justice, not money. And he really lives that. He's the kind of lawyer who gives free legal help to people who need it most. He's calm, he's principled. He's basically the ideal of what a lawyer should be, trying to do the right thing inside a system that's just broken.
Okay, so you have this powerful story about a broken system and one woman's fight. But how do you actually film that? How do you show the feeling of waiting? Let's get into the cinematic vision behind PESHI. The filmmakers are so smart about how they use color. It's like a whole other layer of storytelling. So you'll see these moments with Ronnie in this beautiful, warm morning light. That's not just to look nice. That's her hope, her belief that today might be different. But then bam, we're in the courtroom, and everything is this cold, flat, sterile daylight. You immediately feel how cold and uncaring the system is. It's genius, really. It lets you feel the story without a single word being said.
And it's not just the color. The whole style of the film is about realism. The camera doesn't do a lot of fancy moves. It's mostly still, right at eye level. And that's such a powerful choice because it doesn't look down on Ronnie or try to make her story overly dramatic. It just puts you right there in the room with her. You become a witness. And there's not a lot of music telling you what to feel. Instead, they use silence. And that silence is heavy. It lets you feel the true, crushing weight of all that waiting.
And all of this, the story, the visuals, it all leads to this one, final, haunting question that the film just leaves you with. It makes you think, really think, about what justice even is. Because when a verdict finally arrives, but it's years, maybe even a lifetime too late, can you even call that justice anymore?